My guest is Molly Miles, and at 20 years old, she's already lived through more than most do in a whole lifetime. Removed from her parents' care at the age of 3, she grew up in the foster care system, shuffled and self-placing through homes of neglect and abuse that were often anything but safe. Imagine having to steal food from supermarkets just to survive. She lived in fear, was unseen and abandoned by those supposed to love and protect her. By 13, Molly had run away from the placement deemed suitable by child safety and escaped to another state. She was a kid the system labelled trouble, known to police, misunderstood, and surviving the only way she knew how. But today, Molly is rewriting that story with 2 little ones of her own and a fire to heal. She's facing her past head on. After gaining access to her child safety files, she's angry, and rightfully so, but she's also determined to turn that pain into purpose. This is a story about reclaiming your life, confronting the system that failed you, and breaking the cycle for the next generation. Molly, tell me about your childhood and growing up.
So I've been in foster care since I was 3.5. I got taken by foster care from my dad, and I was in care until I was 13, until I ran away from the system. And I was with one carer for about since I was 3 to 13, plus being in resi halfway through that as well. And then when I ran away from Queensland, I came to my stepmom's care, and then that lasted about 3 days. And then I ended up into my auntie's care. That lasted about half a year. Went back to my stepmom's house, and then I ended up having some issues with her. I ended up running away to a boy I met online, and then I ended up living in his house, which was pretty much you could class as a trap house, and that's when everything just went spiraling everywhere.
So we're going to delve into that
Yeah.
today. Let's go between birth and 3. Where were you?
So birth till I think around 1, roughly don't know all of it, only been told what I've been told. I was in my mother's care. My dad took my sister. I went with my mother.
Is your sister younger than you or
Older.
older? So, and how old was she?
She was, I think, she's 4 years older than me,
Got
so
it.
she's probably around 3, 4.
Okay. Yep.
I was with my mother traveling Australia, and she was very on the drugs, crack, whatever you call it. I don't actually know. All I know it was methamphetamine and cannabis because that was in my system when I was born. I was traveling around with her, so she was involved with bikies,
Is
and
this in Queensland?
I don't actually know
Okay.
if that makes
Yeah.
no one I've ever told me where it was. I know I went to Uluru at one point
Yeah.
because there's photos to like me sitting on Uluru.
And you were a little baby?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my mother. By the looks of it, in the photos, it looks like we were living out of the car, but I don't 100% know if that's true. She had a partner while sleeping with other people, like bikies, doing the drugs. She was not in the right headspace. I didn't get told, well, I didn't even get told this. I read it on my court papers. That partner that she had, I got sexually assaulted by him. And I was not even like I was 1. And my one of my family members I ended up calling the other day and was like, why didn't anyone tell me this? And they told me, oh, well, they explained me who this guy was. They said that he has stabbed my mother and that she had to run away from him. And my mother couldn't even tell me what happened to me with him. But then it got too hard for my mother. So she wanted me and my sister together. So my dad took me and my sister in, and I ended up, I wouldn't say people were favoritized because I had my sister, myself, and my younger sister because she was born 2 years after me. And we were living with my stepmom, and I'm not 100% sure of what happened to me in the process of like before I got into care, but the things I have read and I have seen that I got abused. I got my head stuck in a sink with boiling hot water, um,
Not stuck, placed.
placed in a sink with boiling hot water. And, I I was pretty much favoritized, not favoritized, like the other siblings were favoritized. I was just the bad kid, apparently. And then, they took me to the doctors because I apparently fell off my bike. And the doctors noticed that these bruises weren't like normal. And I was Sydney Hospital and they ended up taking me away. There was much more complaints by other people that lived in the town because it was a small town.
But this is in New South Wales.
Yeah, this is in
Yeah.
New South Wales.
Yeah.
But I ended up going to the hospital in Sydney. I had a broken cartilage, like my nose was smashed. I had bruises all over my body. It was just not normal. So they took me. But child safety told my father worked away at this point. He had no idea what was happening. Child safety told my father, if you sign her over as the state of the ward, you'll get her back. He didn't get me back. My auntie informed me that she tried to fight for me because normally you would get given to the closest family member if they're suitable.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me. My mother said, nope, put her in foster care. My mum didn't even want me. She didn't even show up to most of the court dates when it was my whole process. So I was placed into care of the ward of the state of New South Wales
Were your
till I was
sisters
18.
were your sisters taken as well?
No, no one was taken except me.
So do we know who placed your head in water and broke your nose?
I have been told, but
You don't have to name them, but do you know who it is?
yeah, I know who it is.
And that person remained the carer of your two sisters?
Yeah. And eventually my brother. Because while I was going through care, like the whole court system, my brother was born on one of those days in court. And I was placed in foster care till 18. But what my caseworker has told me, what they did was not right. They should have placed me with my nan, my auntie. They were suitable for the care of me, but they wouldn't even take it.
They wouldn't look at it?
No.
And so when you were removed and you were in foster care, was it the same carer? Did you stay in one home?
Yeah, I got in the same home with an older couple, and until around I think it was 12.
And what was that like?
Now how do I explain this? They were older. Their punishments were a lot different compared to 2025, what parents do to their kids.
Yeah.
It was a lot. To this day, I feel very bad for what I did. I gave them hell. I told them they're not my parents. I was just troubled. I gave them hell. But
So they're not your parents.
yeah.
So accurate statement. You are a child who has trauma. You are allowed to give them hell. We're foster carers.
Yeah.
You are allowed to give them hell.
Yeah.
Right? You were a child. What hell are we talking? Breaking things, swearing. What are we talking?
I would
Burning houses down. What is it?
So I was just it was yelling at them, hitting them, everything. But the thing is, if I got in trouble, I got in trouble for the slightest things.
Yeah.
If I was not doing something right, I would just get yelled at. And I'm not talking like you're doing that wrong. I'm talking about screamed at. And I just sat there like,
Put down? Or so not what's wrong with you or you're stupid or things like
it was
that?
pretty much what's wrong with you? You're going mental. The counselors, I had a counselor for a few years. I told her I was asking for help because with punishment, I got hit as well.
By the carer?
Yeah. And no one believed
By a
me.
hand?
Yeah.
On the bum?
On the bum and by the other carer that's a male. I had a bed that would sit on the floor. No, I couldn't even move it to this day by myself. It was one of those ones that not built into the floor, but are really heavy and they're like that big. And I grabbed onto it because they're screaming at me and they dragged me and I probably moved that bed like a meter and I just screamed at him like, don't touch me, leave me alone. And probably was in nappies till I was 10 as well.
Because
I have no idea.
trauma.
Yeah.
That's your trauma
Yeah.
response. As carers, I've seen kids that are
Yeah.
older who have done number ones and number twos,
Yeah.
and that is literally just their body not coping.
I tried to tell my caseworkers, I tried to tell a counsellor everything about me, like what they were doing to me. They wouldn't believe me.
Did they say, I don't believe you?
The caseworkers, so the carers would paint a picture of she's just a troubled child, she's getting into like this sort of trouble, she's doing this, saying she's the one that hits us, she's the one that does this, but won't believe anything I say. I used to sit there and say, get me out of here. I want a new carer. I want a new home. And they would not believe me. They ended up taking my counsellor who I trusted, who I told everything to, and she believed me, but they would tell her, no, she's not, like, she's lying to you, she's painting a picture that's not the real story. And they took that counsellor off me and made me have another one just because my counsellor ended up believing me.
You're breaking my heart in so many ways right now. Like, most of what you just said is not actually allowed.
Yeah.
As a child, you have a voice. As a foster child, you absolutely have a voice. If you are sitting there and saying, this is what's happening to me in the home, I don't want to be here, there's rules that they should follow at that point. That should be a trigger.
Yeah. I tried to tell my caseworkers. I sat there and they just looked at me like, you're that kid that like is getting in trouble. You're doing this. You're not getting abused. Your carer is not doing this to you.
So you stayed there until you were 13.
Yeah, I stayed there till I was 13.
Did it get better
Did it get better
with them?
No.
Did your relationship with them ever come to a point where little Molly was happy?
No. I was in grade 7. I started running away like crazy because as a child safety kid, you don't get to do what normal kids get to do. I couldn't go for a sleepover.
Because
Because I just wasn't allowed to.
by
Apparently I have to get accepted to go to someone else's house by my caseworker.
okay, that's not actually true.
Yeah.
That's
what they always told me.
That is inaccurate. If we have care of a child, we are able, as their carer, to make the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this is years ago, so maybe laws in New South Wales are different to Queensland or time has changed, but it hasn't been that many years.
Yeah, it hasn't.
But by law, as a foster carer, we are able to make the decision for that child to stay at somewhere we trust as a carer for up to 48 hours before we need to tell child safety where they are.
Yeah.
So 48 hours.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed any of that. I wasn't even allowed to go to a birthday party for a couple hours, even with my carer. I wasn't allowed to.
Because your carer would not let you.
No, I wasn't allowed to take photo. Like, imagine getting your school photo. I was allowed my school photo individually. I was not allowed to have my school photo with other kids. Because apparently the safety of, like, me being on social media. I wasn't allowed a phone. Grade 7, everyone wants a phone. All kids have a phone normally. Everyone wants to be on social media. That's all I wanted. I wanted a phone. I wasn't allowed a phone. I wasn't allowed to be on social media. And that's the biggest trigger I had because everyone around me in high school had a phone, got to go to their friend's house and everything, and I wasn't allowed anything.
These days, child safety give I'm not saying they give it to them as a law, but I know of children we've had who child safety have given them a secondhand phone.
Yeah.
You know, just so that they're able to be communicated with.
Yeah.
Okay, so the relationship was strained from the get-go.
Yeah.
Was there also love for them as well?
There was love.
Yeah.
Because being older now, I see it as what I've been told of what happened to me, I could have been in a worse place. I've seen kids in a worse place. I know the system. Like, my caseworkers used to tell me I'm the most normal person they have in there. Like, when I was leaving care, they're like, normally we go to their house and they're doing crack or on smoking drugs or doing that. Like, you're the most normal person we have.
That's obviously internal for you. You are obviously a strong, strong young woman, Molly. Honestly.
Yeah.
So, okay, do you remember good times with them? Did they take you on holidays?
Holidays, yes. I travelled from New South Wales to WA. I used to see their daughter a lot. We used to go on holidays. Like, I had a lot of good times with them. And I sit there to this day and want to reach out to them to say at least, like, I'm sorry. Like, the way we went about it wasn't the greatest way, but I felt so bad for what I did to them because I did like what I went through, I deserve to like be like that, but I just felt so bad for how, and I will always feel bad. And they don't, I've tried to reach out and they don't even want to contact me. They're like, we're not ready. And the age they were when I was that age, I probably never get to.
One day maybe. And
Yeah.
if not, you at some point, you're going to have to realize that that's not your fault.
Yeah.
That is not your fault.
Yeah.
And also perhaps better training for them.
Yeah. I noticed when I was in their care, they had a lot of other kids as well. And they always ended up leaving. And I never understood why when I was a kid. But then until I realized when I left of why everyone else left as well.
Why?
Well, there was a teenager a lot older than me, that stayed with them, and she wasn't allowed out. She wasn't allowed to do what just teenagers do, and she ended up, "Nope, I don't wanna live here anymore."
And she was able to
And
leave.
she'd get yelled at if she didn't do, like, clean her room properly, she'd get screamed at. Like, I remember I'd used to sit in front of the TV and just what it used when she was around, all the yelling and everything went to her, but as soon as she left, it came to me.
Oh, so she shielded you
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
And how many other children were there?
There was a young boy, but he ended up leaving roughly around the time I came into their care. I think they're still in contact with him.
Yeah.
And then there was that teenager, and then there was me.
Do you
And I
contact
was
with her? Do you speak
no,
with her?
I don't even know her name. I couldn't even remember her name.
Yeah. When did you move to Queensland?
I moved when I was 13.
Was it the breakdown?
So I ended up having, it was probably 3 months of me running away every night. Small town, the cops knew where I was, knew where my friends were
Where were
every
you?
time. I was always at my best friend's house.
Yeah.
That's the only place I ever
Yeah.
and the best friend's house, I didn't know at the time, her mother was friends with my family because they used to live there, but they ended up having to move away because I got put in care there. They couldn't stay in the same, so my family, my dad and stepmom couldn't live there anymore. So they moved, and they thought it'd be a hard me being in care, going to the same school as my brother and sister and everything, that like it'd just be hard to stay away from me. So they moved to Queensland and I stayed down there. And little did I know, everyone in the town knew my story, knew what I went through. My best friend's mum knew exactly what happened, so she'd always let me in. Like if I ran
So
away,
was she your person? Was she someone you could speak to?
yeah. I sat there and ran away all the time. I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating, so I ran away to go trick or treating with my friend. And then the cops would get, and I knew the cops would get me. So that was just my lift home. I
Yeah.
just knew they were
Yeah.
coming, and it got to a point where I had a really bad fight with them, and I went to school and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. The cops ended up coming, and I told them that I'm going to kill myself, just to not
Get
kill
out.
myself, just
Just
to
to
prove out. And then they put me in the hospital for a night to just go back there.
and
And
you
they
went back
and
there.
yeah, and they ended up, it got that bad of me running away, they ended up putting me in a resi care because it just give it 1 week, I'll go stay at theirs, then I'll go back to my carers. So it just gave me a break of we're not together 24/7. But my caseworkers wouldn't listen to me. I just wanted to be out of that house. I didn't want to be in a resi care. I just wanted a new carer. I just couldn't care where I ended up at that time. And it got to the point where I actually wanted to kill myself. I would run till 12 o'clock at night on the beach, just figuring out, like, I just don't want to be here. I can't live like this. And I just hated, and I say to this day, I reckon if I stayed there, I would have been dead. And the only way I got out, so being a small town, everyone knew my family, and they'd always come up, kids at school would always come up to me and be like, oh, is your brother this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And then knowing that name, I lied to my carer and said, I have an assignment. Can I use your computer? I made a fake Facebook account, and it was Millie Miles. I don't know how.
Clever
Yeah.
girl. Okay, go.
I made
How old are you at this point?
13.
Okay, go.
I made a fake Facebook, and for a while I was messaging them. I'd always go to the carers like, can I use the
And
computer?
who were you messaging? Your brother?
My brother, yes.
And how old was he?
I think he was 18, 19. He had his own house and everything. This is not my brother, my stepbrother.
Okay.
And one day we had a really bad fight, and I ended up getting suspended from school too because I ended up getting in a fight. Like, I was just not okay. And I told my friend, can I borrow your phone? Logged into my Facebook and called my brother. And then I said to him, I need to get out of here. And he's like, okay, I'll sort it out. And then I went home to my carers, got back on the computer, and it was a Friday, and because it was after school. And my brother texted me, my dad messaged me, my stepmom messaged me.
So he must have reached out to
Yeah.
family, right?
And they said, go to the park. They asked, where do I live? And I told them. They said, go to the park down the road. Your pop's going to pick you up. And being a kid, you never get in a stranger's car. I didn't even know my pop
I
at
was
the
about
time.
to say, did you know your pop?
Like, I knew him, but I haven't seen him since I was a baby. And
Did he look familiar?
Yeah, because I had a baby book, so
Okay.
I had that.
Yeah.
And I told Mike they'd let me go to the park because it's literally like 5 meters away from the house.
Yeah.
I went down to the park and I was sitting on the swing, and then I seen my pop pull up, and I was like, this is the only way I'm going to get out. So I got in my pop's car, and then he drove me straight to Canberra where my brother lived. I stayed with my brother for 3 days. At this point, I was posted everywhere. I was posted on the news. I was posted like 5,000 times on Facebook.
Missing.
Yeah, missing child, blah, blah, blah. I ended up going to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning as my cousin's name. And I straightened my hair, put makeup on, like, to look totally different just because I was a missing child.
Yeah.
And then I got on the plane. I got a phone call getting told that my brother had the cops at his house just as soon as he got home after dropping me off at the airport, asking if I was there. And then I ended up going to Queensland. And I got off the plane, don't know where I am, don't know what the airport's like, nothing. And then I had this like
Brisbane?
sticky note. Yeah, I had this sticky note of the numbers, like if my stepmom's number, everything. And I couldn't find her, and I was freaking out that I'm in a different state, couldn't find her.
So you had a mobile phone at this time?
No, I didn't. I didn't have a mobile phone. My brother got called saying the cops are coming. He left me at the airport,
Yeah.
went to his house,
Yeah.
and the cops came. I found out this,
Yeah.
like,
Later.
that the cops were there.
So you now got off the plane in Brisbane.
Yeah.
You're standing there. Are you waiting for someone? Is someone supposed to pick you up?
I was waiting for my stepmom, and I was looking around. I haven't seen her since I was a baby, and I'm freaking out, like, what do I do? So I went up to, like, the help people.
Yeah.
And I said, can you call this number? Because I don't know, like, they're supposed to pick me up. I've never been here. And they're like, what's her name? I said her name. They called it out on the speaker. And then she walked up to me, and I don't know what I was feeling. I was so scared because I'm in a different state. I met her obviously when I was little, and she picked me up, took me back home. We ended up going to the police station. At this stage, though, the Queensland police didn't even know who I was. They didn't even know I was missing.
Yeah.
And then they got in contact with New South Wales, and they're like, oh, yeah, well,
We've
she's
got
in
her.
Queensland. And the reason, too, of why I left to go to Queensland is because they can't take you off your blood when you're over the age of 13, I think. I'm not 100% sure. That's what I got told, though, at the time.
By Queensland?
Yeah.
Foster care?
So I haven't seen any of my caseworkers at this
16.
point. I have no idea now, but that's what I got told.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then my dad ended up coming back because he used to work at the mines. He ended up coming back, and when I seen my dad, I just bawled into tears. My dad cried too.
You hadn't seen him for 10 years.
Yeah. And we just both cried. And that night, he ended up sleeping with me just because he hasn't seen me in that long. And then for about 3 days, a caseworker came up, and she was like, I said, I'm self-placing, I'm not leaving, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, "Oh, okay." And then,
They travelled from New South Wales?
yeah.
Wow.
And then, they had to do that for till I was 14 or 16 till I got transferred to Queensland State of the Ward.
Yeah. Were your sisters living there still? And
My older sister was with my auntie. My younger siblings were still there,
yeah.
and
And how was it seeing them?
they didn't even know. They did. My brother and stepmom and dad didn't even tell them, just to surprise them.
Oh, hang on,
And
but they knew you existed?
yeah, they knew I
Okay.
existed, but
Oh.
they didn't know I was coming.
Yeah.
And they came back from school. They walked in, and we all just like stared at each other like we've never seen it. But they were so happy at the same
Did you
time.
recognise them?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at ActiveFlex, the Australian-made pain relief gel that helps soothe sore muscles and aching joints. For long-lasting relief, look for ActiveFlex at Chemist Warehouse or search ActiveFlex Gel online. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If your pain persists, chat with your healthcare professional.
My younger sister, she was like my best friend. We were like, because we were so close in age, we were like pretty much twins. We did everything together. But that lasted like 3 days, being at my stepmom's. And I ended up, because I went to go see my auntie and my sister, older sister, because I haven't seen them either. And she ended up screaming at me. So I ended up
For leaving?
Yeah, for leaving to go see them.
Yeah.
So my auntie took care of me and took me in because she's like, well, she's yelling at you. You can stay at ours. So I ended up
Is that
staying
your
with
dad's
her.
sister or mum's?
Dad's sister.
Yeah.
And that lasted for about half a year. But I was getting bullied a lot because me and my cousin would clash a lot. And because obviously my auntie's trying to help me, but then that's her daughter, like we clashed a lot.
Mm.
And I got bullied a lot in school, was getting in fights. At a school I didn't even know anyone, and I was just getting bullied. And I wasn't used to it because in school where I was in New South Wales, I've known them since prep to year 7. Like
Yeah.
we've known each other forever, and
Yeah.
I'm around all these people I don't know and they're bullying me. I've never been bullied. I was freaking out. I literally just wanted to kill myself. I was like, what have I done? Did I just stuff this whole thing up?
And you're 14.
Yeah.
You got a mobile phone finally?
Yeah, finally.
Did you make any friends at that school?
One. Literally one. I ended up so when I left my auntie's, because I ran away from hers because I was just getting bullied by her, my auntie wasn't aware of what us kids were doing. So I didn't really tell her. Her daughter didn't tell her. So I ended up running away, and my auntie's like, what? Like, what has happened? I ended up moving back in with my stepmom. And at that school, I still went to the same school because they only lived around the corner from each other. I always was with my sister, just hung out with her at school. And that's my younger sister. Like the older sister, no friends. And she's got all the friends she's grown up with. And I had no, like, sitting there hanging out with my little sister. And
I'm so glad you had her.
yeah,
I'm so grateful.
we still get along. She's actually got 2 kids too.
Oh.
It's crazy because I feel like she's still a little baby to me. Me and my stepmom kept clashing. She'd always take my phone off me. But that's because she was going through a lot of drugs, a lot of bad people, and we were fighting a lot. And I didn't want to, she would tell me stories of what happened to me as a kid. And obviously, of what happened to me, I didn't want to I wanted to believe her that nothing happened to me.
Did she say nothing happened to you?
Yeah. She told me that nothing, it was not that serious. Child safety lied about it, blah, blah, blah. But then it started showing signs of living with her that I actually went through that because it started happening again. Not to the whole boiling water situation.
But
It was
hands
just,
on you.
yeah. And I ended up running, I had a phone. She would always take it off me. I was like, nope, go sneak in her room, take the phone, go on it, go on social media. And I was texting this guy, and as a 14-year-old girl, you're sitting there talking to guys on social media. It's even if they're random, it's like it's bad, but it happens. And so I was telling him what happened to me, like what's happening. I'm always fighting with my parents, blah, blah, blah. My dad's not around. He's at the mines. Like, he has no idea. And he said, "Come live with me." And that was the first thing. I was like, "Yeah."
And you did?
I went to school and ran away.
How
And
old was he?
he was a year older than me. He
Yeah.
was probably 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
I ended up living with him, but I was around things that I was not used to
Okay,
at
and this
all.
is with his mum and dad?
No, this is with I don't even know who he was.
Some person.
Some person.
Yeah.
He was with they called themselves brother and sister. He had an older sister. And don't get me wrong, I loved him and her. Like,
Yeah.
they helped me through everything. Even though we were in a shit house, that kids, when you go in that situation, we stick together no matter what. Like, we might be some shitty kids, but we all stick together. And to this day, I still talk to them. I don't talk to the boy. I think he's still in his stage of just being a dickhead. But
Okay.
the girl, she's a mum now, and I still get along with her. But
you
yeah,
felt like they were your people and they accepted you and you were safe.
yeah. But we were in a house that was pretty much a trap house.
What's a trap house?
A trap house is pretty much, you have mattresses on the floor, bars on the windows, or the windows smashed, nothing's clean, no food.
So it's not a rental, it's an empty house that you're just staying in.
Pretty much.
It's not rented.
I think the house that it was renting, but it was private rented,
Okay.
like some Asian people next door or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but the house was bad.
It was trashed.
Yeah. Like, the people that lived there, they were crackheads.
Mm.
And at this stage, this is when I started smoking. I was a stoner. They were a crackhead. Stoners want food. Crackheads don't want to eat anything and stay up all night. And literally, I lived off noodles. And those kids, they were stoners as well. Like, the adults were the crackheads. They were the stoners. And we'd go out, we'd go steal, like, from Woolworths. Like, I'm telling you, I used to fit a whole ham in my stomach pretending like I was pregnant.
Wow.
I used to sit there with 90-cent drinks, like chips, everything. And at this stage,
because you didn't have any money.
yeah, I didn't have any money.
So, Molly, how would you have eaten if you didn't do that?
Yeah, and they wouldn't shop.
That's what I think some people don't understand.
Yeah.
These kids, some of them, like you, had no choice.
Yeah. And then while the caseworkers ended up, I'm telling you right now, I didn't see my caseworkers. Like, I seen them once every 3 months. And I never talked to them because, like, I seen them as they never helped me. Why bother?
So are you saying to me they would come up from New South Wales and see you
once
at that
every
house?
3 months? Yep.
At that house.
When they first came there, they picked me up. They
in
said,
the house with the bars, the trap house?
Yes.
And they allowed you to stay at the trap house?
They allowed me to stay there. But before that happened, they ended up taking me for a meeting. And I said, "Where are we going?" And they're like, "Oh, we're just going for a meeting." For me, that's normal for going for a meeting, especially when they're coming from New South Wales. We used to go to Macca's or something.
Sounds like they're going to take you.
Yeah. The boss of Anglicare at the time.
That's an agency, a foster care agency.
Yeah. They turned around. We went to an apartment where she was staying at the time. They turned around on the phone and they're like, "You're going back to New South Wales." I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Yes, you are." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "You have no choice." And I said, "Well, at least can I say goodbye to my friends? Can I at least go get my stuff?" And they said, "No." Then they took me back to my stepmom's to grab, like, my baby book and stuff like that. No clothes or anything. So we ended up going to the airport and I was sitting there like, how can I get out of this? Because all I remember getting told is I can self-place at 14. And I was sitting there like, how am I going to get out of this? About to get on a plane in 5 minutes. And I'm like, I got to get out of this. And then I looked at the toilet and I said, "Can we go to the toilet real quick?" And she's like, lucky. I was so lucky. She said, "I need to go too." She came in and as soon as she closed her door, I sprinted. And Brisbane, all I could remember was the first time I went there. Like, got off the plane when I ran away. And I ran straight to the train station. And I had no money. And I was sitting there and I remember I had a phone number, like the guy's phone number, that crackhead that I lived with. So I got the guy at the train station to call him. He quickly figured out money, paid that guy. Then I jumped on the train as soon as it came, went back because I was living in Anala. That's where I was living at the time. I went back there, and luckily I seen their drug dealer on the train, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, told him what happened, and
I'm running away.
yeah, he's like, I told him what happened, and he's like, "You're coming with me." And then we walked back there, and then as soon as we were walking down the road, because he was already going to the house to give drugs, and we seen the cops there, and so I sprinted. He said, "Get in this car."
Were they there for you?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yes.
I sprinted. He's like, "Get in this car." It was a stolen car, but anyways, I didn't know that at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I was laying in the car, blah blah blah, and then my friend runs down to the car and he's like, "They're gone." And then he's like, the guys were telling me that the cops came for me, my caseworker came for me. We said you weren't there. They lied for me. And then the cops ended up coming half an hour later and they said, "Are you safe?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, bye." And then they left. And then a couple weeks later, I found out that caseworker legally was not supposed to take me. I had a right to self place where I was, and she got fired for kidnapping because it was classed as kidnapping. I said no, and I didn't want to go, and I had to run, and she lost a child in the process. So she ended up getting fired. And then the guy who I lived with, he ended up getting me into school in Alaflexi. They ended up supporting me. Yeah, we went and stole. That was how we survived. But they ended up supporting me, getting me back in school and everything because other kids did too, but it was a flexi. My caseworkers didn't see me in
That
this
flexi's
process.
great there at Anala.
Yeah,
So
it is.
they'll give you breakfast, they'll give you lunch,
Yeah.
anything you want is
The
what I've
chef there,
heard.
oh my God, the food.
I have heard the food there from some of the kids that we've had, the best food ever.
Yes.
Anything you want. I said,
Yes,
"What's
they
your favorite?" He
definitely
goes,
were.
"Everything."
Yeah, I loved it. Lunchtime, I was so excited for
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
But
Most of the kids at that school, are a lot of them in care?
not that I ever knew.
Yeah, no, that's what he said. One of ours said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never really knew each other's stories.
Yeah.
But all of us, I can say, as at school, we all stuck together.
Do you know what? That is exactly what one of our
Yeah.
last boys said. You've given me
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
He said, I said, "Are they children in care that are your mates at school?" He's like, "Oh no, I don't know. I haven't asked." And I said, "Do you feel safe?" He said, "Yeah, they would do anything for me. Pretty
Yeah.
much everyone at that school would do anything for me."
Yeah.
And it just tells me that, yeah, you kids stick together. Kids
To this day,
stick.
I still talk to them. The people at Anala see me go through hell. Like, they see me from today to where I was, and they're like, "Yeah, you went through." Like, I have people that have written me pages full for proof of court of what happened to me, just because, and that's kids my age, like, that
They
know what's
remember.
happening.
They remember.
I remember there was a girl, like, so I'll go back to where I was.
Yeah, tell me about
Yeah.
Flexi. Yep, you're at Flexi. The person that you were living with got you into that school.
Yeah. So everything was going okay until I met a guy, and
Did he go to school with you?
no. I met a guy, they were stealing cars, that type of guy. And I ended up seeing him, but then he ended up fighting with me. So I ended up with his friend, a man fighting with me, a boy fighting me, leaving me. I had attachment issues.
Yeah.
I went mental. I ended up going to the train station crying, trying to kill myself.
At 14 still?
I know I was 15
Okay.
or 16,
Yep.
roughly around then. A guy on a bike ended up calling the police. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." They ended up leaving. And then this was Christmas Day. Christmas Day, I fucking hate. Now it's better because I have kids myself, but I used to hate it. I used to dread it. And the people I used to live with were out on, like, they're doing their own thing on a holiday, blah, blah, blah. I was still down here because I was at my mate's house. And this guy just left me, and I'm sitting there like, I want my own family, blah, blah, blah. And the cops just see me. They're like, "You're fine." I wanted to kill myself after I seen the cops. I didn't know what I was thinking. I still can't remember to this day what I was thinking. I just know that I was, like, at that stage
You
where
didn't want to be here.
yeah, I didn't want to be there. And luckily for me, I stood up. and I handed myself into the police station, and I said to the lady, "I want to kill myself." And the cops know who I was. They've dealt with me already,
Yeah.
been arrested, stealing everything.
Yes.
Um, they ended up taking me to the hospital in Brisbane. I ended up in 3 different wards until I ended up in the mental ward. And I had an eating disorder because I'm a stoner with living with crackheads that don't have food. And I ended up creating myself an eating disorder. I was 29 kilos. I couldn't stand. I wasn't allowed, like, when you're in the mental ward and trying to kill yourself, there's a nurse there has to be next to you, and they rotate every 15 minutes. I couldn't stand properly. I slept the whole time. I had to get showered by them, and all I remember is I slept the whole time, and I was in there for days, and it felt like I woke up. I was in there for days, but it felt like I was in there for one day. And then the guy finally came back from his holiday, and he ended up catching train to Brisbane to the hospital, and the doctor said to him, "She's gonna go more mental in here than out there." So they discharged me, and
You're 16 still?
I ended up moving back in with them. But then I ended up still going to see his mate, the guy who broke up with me, his mate reached out to me. And then
Can
we
I
were
just pause
still,
you for a minute?
yeah,
Just pause 1 minute. When you're living in that house, who's giving you money?
no one. I'm stealing.
You are in the care of the state.
Yeah,
You should be. Where's that money going?
yeah, that's what I don't know.
Wh-
I never got money.
You didn't get 1 cent
Nope.
yet.
I didn't get 1 cent until I hit Centrelink.
Molly Miles, what were
Yeah.
you supposed to do?
Yep. And no one's going to hire me when I was that age as a job, let alone I don't know how a job works at that age. And
The parameters in my brain are trying to function and work out how you were supposed to live.
yeah.
And I cannot find an answer. Continue. So continue.
So, I ended up going to that mate's house, and I ended up this is the worst mistake of my entire life. I went back to, like, the house I was staying at. We were fighting. They ended up locking me in the room, trapped, because I said, "I'm running away. I'm leaving," and they wouldn't let me. They took my phone off me. They locked me in the room,
Do you
and
think that was out of care, or do you think that was
I have no idea at
okay?
the time and still don't. They locked me in the room.
That's scary.
It was barred. I couldn't even go out to go eat or anything. And then they ended up falling asleep. I ended up breaking the door and snuck out. And I'm telling you, they have cameras everywhere. I lasted about 5 minutes till I seen someone coming on a bike. I jumped in the bush and there was them on the bike trying to find me.
The
And
people you lived with.
yeah. And I was sitting in the bush for about an hour until I noticed that they were gone. And then I ended up running to that mate's house. That was the worst mistake of my life, of going there. That guy I ended up dating for 2 years, and I'm telling you that I was living in a trap house. This house was 10 times worse. This house, I had no bed. I had no food. Rat shit everywhere, cat shit everywhere, cats everywhere. The mum was never there. She worked in Brisbane cleaning, but she's as worse as us, like the kids. We pretty much had to run the house. She was never there. And
What did you sleep on?
I ended up stealing a mattress on the side of the road. You know when they
Yeah,
keep mattress?
perfect.
I ended up carrying that with his
Yep.
sister and took it home, and we ended up sleeping on that.
This podcast is supported by our friends at ActiveFlex, the Australian pain relieving gel designed for long-lasting relief for painful muscles and joints. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If your symptoms persist, please seek advice from a healthcare professional. You can shop online at Chemist Warehouse or simply search ActiveFlex Gel.
This guy, I never knew what was right or wrong, but he pretty much tortured me. He sat there and
How old was he?
I think he was 18, I was 16, and, I could be wrong, it could be 17,
Mm.
a lot I do not remember.
You block out stuff,
Yeah,
Molly.
but I remember is my friends can preach for this, his sister can preach for it, everything, like, his sisters even said it to me, and, he ended up bashing me every time I did something wrong. He would flog the absolute shit out of me, and I just didn't know what was right. I loved this guy. I Every time I yelled at him, it was over because he was cheating on me. He was cheating on me with several girls, and I didn't know what to do. I've never been in that situation. I've never been cheated on. He would scream at me, blame me, say it's my fault that he's cheating on me. He would bash me, and clearly when you're fighting with your partner, you don't wanna sleep with them.
Yeah.
Um, every time he would come to me, he would try and keep touching me and keep touching me, and at the time, I didn't know this was rape.
Yeah.
I He forced me to have sex,
Mm.
and all the time it was probably for 2 years straight. Just forced me to have sex, but emotionally, I did not want to have sex. I never sat there. I kept saying, "No, no, no," but then I let him eventually when he was
Yeah.
inside of me.
Yeah.
I ended up getting he got that bad, he ended up chasing me with a knife. Um, it was just 2 years constant abuse.
How did you get out?
So, one day, his mum was home, and he was ended up cheating on me, and I said, "Give me your phone,"
Mm.
and he wouldn't give me his phone. He ended up punching me in the face. His mum was right there. I said, "Did you see what he just did?" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Your son just hit me. Do you want your son to be known for hitting women?" And she's like, "No, he didn't." And I was like, "You just seen it." And she's like, "No." So I ended up calling. So in the process of living with him, I just lost my dad to cancer.
Oh.
And I ended
Had you seen your dad throughout those years?
No. He tried to beg me to come live with him because he's left my stepmom everything. He's moved to Mackay. He's living by himself. He's asking me to live there, and I'm saying no because I'm on drugs. I'm sitting here running amok thinking I'm having the greatest life ever. And we would fight a lot too. He'd just be like, "Oh, you're gonna be pregnant by 16. You're gonna be having drugs. Blah blah blah." Um, like that's just gonna be your life. And when I see my dad when he had cancer, I seen him once, and that was in the hospital when I first contacted my auntie after like years of not talking to her. Um, I remember too when they told me he had cancer. I screamed at everyone. No one told me. My little sister had to tell me. And I called my auntie. I said, "Is my dad got cancer?" I called my sisters. My dad got cancer. I called everyone. And then I eventually called my dad, and he's like, "Doesn't matter. I'll be fine, blah, blah, blah." And then it got really bad. And I remember going to the hospital because I asked my auntie, I want to see him. And I walked in there, and he's like to my older sister, this is when I see my older sister. We do not talk. But he's like to my older sister, "I told you not to bring your friends in." And my sister goes, "Dad, it's Molly." And then he just looks at me and he's like, "Oh, Molly." And I remember the last thing said to me, he said, "That guy you're seeing, I hope he treats you right. I hope he looks after you. I love you." And when I knew he was dying, I knew what my boyfriend was doing to me at the time, but I couldn't tell him just because he was on his deathbed. And to this day, I hate it that I didn't tell him. And then I started contacting my auntie a lot just because.
Did that make you leave him?
So my auntie was the one who saved me. So we might have had our issues in the past, me and my auntie, but no matter what, she has saved me from every situation possible. And I'll admit, I've given her hell I've given her a run for her money. But that night he hit me last, I called my auntie and I said, "Can you come and get me?" It was at 11 o'clock at night. She ended up coming to get me, and I the next day, I ended up sleeping with her for I think for a week, sleeping in her bed. And she ended up saying, "You're welcome to come live with us again." And I said, "Yeah, this is probably the best thing for it to
There's
happen.
food there.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Yeah.
You're nowhere near him.
And he ended up still contacting me. He sat there for days on end saying, "I'm gonna kill you in your own blood. I'm gonna rape you when you're sleeping. I hope you're dead in the ground like your dad."
So not, I love you, I'm sorry, I will never do that again.
Yeah, he harassed me for days. He has a girlfriend, but the funny thing is that girlfriend was the best friend I had at the time. I left him, they got together. She's like, "He's nice to me, blah, blah, blah. You're just a liar." I have kids that I didn't even talk to in an Flexi come up to me and said, "I could tell you got bashed. I could see like the marks on your legs and everything." Because I'm telling you, the weather in Queensland, I was sitting there in jumpers, trackies, everything, and everyone knew
Hiding
about
it.
it. And I thought I was hiding it. I generally thought no one's
But
going to
they
know.
saw.
Yeah. But she harassed me for years. I was just trying to go to school, get my life back together, not live any of that. I got off the drugs clean. I just didn't want to live that life anymore. And
And that's when you were with Auntie?
yeah, and I ended up getting my P's eventually, and I'd go out with my friends I met from school and everything.
Did she teach you to drive?
Yeah.
Oh, how good's Auntie?
Yeah, I ended up going to a different school too. When I went back to my auntie, I didn't move because I went to Ipswich High. I ended up going to Rosewood instead.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows Rosewood, there's a lot of country kids. It's nothing like all the city kids pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just nice kids who have been brought up
I
by
know Rosewood, it's
yeah.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
that's the school I got along with everyone. To this day, like, I get along with everyone. My partner I met, he didn't go to the same school, but his friends were my friends. So being my partner, I don't have to introduce him to my
Yeah.
friends. But yeah, they harassed me. I'd go to shopping centers. She'd try and fight me. She'd try and bash me.
For what reason? You didn't want the boy back?
Yeah, I didn't want the boy back. The mum would harass me. The mum would sit there and say, "Wait till I see you. I'm going to flog you." But I'm a
But why?
16-year-old girl.
But why?
Yeah.
Oh, Molly.
Yes. I was with my auntie for years.
Yeah.
Till I hit grade 12. Then I always have this pattern of I will be good for years and then I will go up and down. Like I will go back to
Regress.
just because
Yeah.
of what I did when I was a kid. It's like, I don't know, it's like a craving. It's like, oh, I like being in trouble, but I don't like being in that situation.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to Skids. I got
What's
into
skids?
Skids is where we meet up with a bunch of cars and just skid around the streets all
Oh, yeah.
night.
Yep.
And I got into that because of some kids at school. And
Did you have a car?
no, well, I had a car, but I didn't skid the car or anything.
Yeah.
I just go there.
Yeah.
I ended up getting in evades, getting chased by the cops and everything. They kept going to my auntie's, blah, blah, blah. It got bad that my auntie and me were fighting again, and I left my auntie's. And when I'm telling you I've never seen her cry in my entire life, I made her cry, and I hate it to this day. And I say to her, to this day, I say, "I'm so sorry for what I did to you." And no matter what, she always accepts who I am. And then, yeah, I got into skids, which got really bad because I ended up nearly going to jail for a year because of it. But the only reason I didn't was because of my daughter. But when I moved out of my auntie's, I ended up meeting another guy, which I had my first kid too. He wasn't bad. He just ended up cheating on me. And
How old were you when you had your puppy?
I was 17, fell pregnant at 17, had her at 18. He cheated on me when pretty much in the process of me having her. And from that guy that did everything to me, I chose to the day I left him, I said, no matter what, if a man lays their hand on me or cheats on me, I'm walking out, no questions asked.
That's a deal. I'm going to shake your hand on that. Molly, that is a deal. You keep that deal with yourself. You keep that.
And so I left him, no questions asked, even having a kid. Like, my kid was 2 months old at this point.
Yeah.
And that's what made me a single mum at the time, and I was freaking out. I didn't like kids at all growing up. I would never hold a baby, and I just became a mum.
And how did that feel?
It was stressful, and I'll admit I struggled at the start. I didn't know what to do, but I made sure my kid was in a safe home always. I might have gone out and everything, but I made sure she was with her family and safe. Me and my ex-partner would fight, like, constantly just because we had a kid together. That's what most people do when they split apart and kids are involved. To this day, though, we actually get along. We can go to swimming lessons and everything together, and we grew up because he ended up finding a girlfriend. I respect this girlfriend a lot because most girls as stepmoms don't respect a mother, as that's the ex-girlfriend, but she has sat down to me and told me I will never be her mother. I will look after her, I will treat her the same and everything, and I respect your decision of what you do. So I get along with her more than I get along with the father. I talk to her before talking to him. Um, and she is so good. I don't know why, it's like we're best friends talking to each other. And but breaking up with him, I was single for about a year. I still had that situation of going to skids, but that's how I met my partner now. He was going through his crime, skids, everything. And we ended up meeting each other at skids. We knew each other way before because
Where is
Rosewood,
skids at?
everywhere,
Everywhere there is skids.
everywhere. You
Name
can,
an area in Brisbane that has skids.
It's normally streets like Oxley.
There's
There's a
just
skid track.
random streets.
Yeah,
And are they wide? What makes them good for
it's
skids?
normally like a industrial area,
Yeah.
or it's
So if
normally
I see like an 8 on the road, is that been a skid?
so
Like like the
like
skid 8.
yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
It's normally industrial areas. I don't know if you've ever been to Red Bank in Boral.
Yeah.
That's Boral's the main spot
Yeah.
where we all used to go. There used to be, I don't know if you've ever seen on the news, like there's been hundreds of cars going out to skids,
Yeah.
everything. To this day, there isn't much skids, but it still happens.
Yeah.
But when I met my partner is when I was getting charged with a lot, and I nearly lost my kid for it and nearly went to jail for a year. My auntie came with me every single court date, and I told her, when it's weird, you don't tell when you live with her,
Yeah.
you don't tell the parents anything or anything like that. But when you move out, you're telling them, "Oh yeah, I did this today, blah blah blah." But you know, if you live with them, you'd be in a fight with them. But yeah, she knows everything. I tell her everything now.
And so she was there and
Yeah, she
supported
was
you?
there. She's always been there no matter
Yeah.
what I've done.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot. And I was getting sentenced, and literally the only thing that saved me from going to jail is I was pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
And I was shitting myself because the only reason I kept my son is because, one, I'm a mother already, and I wanted to make sure I had no I wanted to be the mother I always wished. And I was just scared, like, I can't go to jail because this is my one chance of being that mother that I didn't have.
That you should have had.
And it breaks my heart to this day. The reason I am speaking, the reason I am going through court for everything that happened to me is because I look at those kids and I don't want the same thing happening to them. I couldn't imagine. And to this day, I still can't get in my head, why did anyone do that to me?
It should never have happened.
Yeah.
It should never have happened. So with your children, like how do you feel about your children? Talk to me about that.
With my daughter, oh, my son, I love him. It's so weird because my daughter is someone who I grew up with.
Yeah.
My son I'm his mum. Like, I treat him as my kid, but my daughter, I grew up with her.
Because you were 18, yeah.
She's my spitting image. I'm telling you, like, the photos I had when I was in foster care, everything of that age, she
She's
looks
you.
exactly alike. And I just see it as, I can't, especially as a girl myself, with my son, I can help him, I can support him, everything. But as a daughter, I've noticed with what I went through, what I craved, I don't want her to. That's why I worked out with the father and started being okay with the father, because I don't want her to have mummy issues or daddy issues and try and chase the things I chased and then end up in the same situation I ended up in.
So do you just love them so hard?
Yeah.
And they know it?
I couldn't imagine losing them. Like, I see some girls that, are actually not good mothers at all, and I sit there and I'm like, "How?" I'm like, how do you not have that feeling?" It's weird. When you look after other kids and then you have your own kids, it's a total different. It's like you can't let anything happen, and I understand why with my auntie and with people telling me I couldn't do things, and I same with my carers. I got punished differently, but with them telling me I couldn't do things, I see it with my daughter and son. Like, I don't want my son and daughter going out to in a trap house doing
Yeah.
drugs and
Yeah.
getting raped and all that type. I do not want that, and I do understand why they tried to fight with me so much, and I just didn't listen.
But the way that the communication between you and them was,
Yeah.
it didn't work.
It just
So you cannot
no.
blame yourself. It
Yeah.
did not work.
Yeah.
And that should have been recognised by child safety. Um,
I tried so hard with child safety. I tried to tell them, and
how many CSOs, child safety officers, did you have over the years?
so in at the start, I had my caseworker for about I had one caseworker. She ended up getting fired because she didn't like, she knew it wasn't right for what my case was.
So she
Um,
advocated for you and got the
yeah,
sack.
yeah. The next one I had for about 7 years. I built a relationship with her. She had to leave. Not sure why. I never heard from her ever again. And then ever since then, it was each month. So I'd clearly they'd see you each month, a caseworker. They'd come out and see you. Each time they'd come see me, there was a new one every single time. Even my auntie said, "How many caseworkers are we going to have? Like, this is getting ridiculous."
So hang on, this is even when you were living with your auntie.
Before, like, yes.
And was your auntie receiving your child safety money?
I think so, yes. I know when I moved out of my auntie's completely the last time, and before I had my daughter, I had Centrelink and I had vouchers,
Yeah.
for food,
Yeah.
like $250 vouchers till it went to like 150.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure my auntie had that, but before that, I'm not
It
sure who
just
had
went
my
to thin
stuff.
air. It
Yeah,
just went to absolute thin air.
yeah.
Go back to the
Oh,
CSOs.
yeah. Yeah, I've had about 100. That I can think of, like, most of them I can't even remember who they look like.
So when you would meet them, would they already know your file, or do you have to tell your story?
They'd know my file, but I'd have to repeat the whole story to them and tell them. Same with counselors.
And did that make you shut down?
Yeah, I didn't wanna see. To this day, I refuse to go see a counselor because I see it as, yes, that person is professional help, everything, but I go to them, tell them my story, and then I leave and never see them again. That's how I see a counselor is, yes, that might go for certain amount of times,
Yeah.
but as a kid, I didn't want to keep repeating myself. I'd repeat myself to my counselors, to the child safety caseworkers. I didn't want to keep repeating myself. I was over it. And every single time I would talk about repeating
So you
my
got to wonder,
story.
whose benefit is that for? You're
Yeah.
literally just self-traumatizing over and over again for them to write it down on a piece of paper and then you never see them again.
Yeah. And I noticed when I was around that 16 age mark, when I would talk about what happened to me to a counselor or to my caseworker, the next day I'm getting arrested. The next day I'm getting in a fight. The next day, like, I would just repeat on.
So it
Yeah.
brought you back to that space,
Yeah.
and it was triggering,
Yeah.
massively triggering.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a mum at 18. You split up. You've got another son. You've got another child now. He's a beautiful boy, and you've got a great partner,
Yeah.
and life is good.
Yeah.
So how do you self-care? What does your self-care look like? So you've got your children. You care for them all
Yeah.
day, every day, and all night, every night.
Yeah.
What's self-care for you look like?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
I have not figured it out. Me and my partner sometimes do struggle with our fights
Yeah.
because it's just a fight or flight mode for me, and he's trying to communicate with me, but I'm sitting there like just used to the same things. And I try and I'm trying to get out of that. I said to him last time we had a fight, I said, I need to figure out what happened to me and talk about what happened to me and go through this court so I can heal.
And
So
what's
I
the
cannot
are you able
blame.
to talk about the court? What is the court now?
So I have to go to a lawyer and talk to a lawyer. I have 2 incidents that I have to go through. So with my mother harassing me, she won't leave me alone.
So, mum, you haven't seen since you were a baby,
Yeah.
and you're being
It's like
contacted by her.
it's like an ex-boyfriend that won't leave you alone.
What does she want?
She doesn't want anything. She apparently wants nothing to do with me. She wants no relationship, anything, but she still stalks me. She still harasses me. She messages my ex's like partner, mum, everything, but she knows most things because of social media. She sits there, oh, does Molly didn't post her daughter for a while? Does she still have care of her daughter? Messaging my ex's mum. And my ex told me the last time we had a fight together, I sat there because of my daughter getting posted everywhere. I have a limit of what my daughter gets posted for. I do not, if my daughter's walking, you can post her, but I don't want my daughter just posted if she's sitting like right there. Because of my mother, I tried to explain that to him. He had no idea who, because I have never told anyone
So,
what she's like.
yeah,
I had to tell him, and he told me that she has contacted his mum to say she
yep.
doesn't care about my daughter. She cares about me. She wants to attack me. She wants to make come after me, not my daughter.
Your mum wants to come after you.
Yeah.
Are they words that you're insinuating, or are they
No.
words that have been said?
This is words that my ex have told me that she said.
Come after you for what?
I don't know. I have no idea. She just she does it to my family. She does it to my sister as well. But she has done it more to me, I think, because it affects me more and I flip it more.
When you say flip it, do you mean get angry?
Get angry, yeah.
Don't
I've
communicate. Don't
yeah.
communicate.
I cut ties with her the last time before I had my kid. She found out I had my kid. I'm telling you, my block list is like over 150 fake accounts. And the only reason I know, she will comment on it. She won't just sit there and stalk. She will comment and make it known that that's a fake account and that's hers. Like, she's not very smart with it. So I've had to block 150 fake accounts. She messaged my ex and she's like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And I just lost it. I messaged her and I said, don't you dare say congratulations. I didn't even tell you I was pregnant and I cut ties with you. And then I just never talked to her again. And she'll comment, she'll post on Facebook, and I ended up telling her I'm getting in. Like, I went to the police station, it was that bad. I told them, they said, you're going to have to go through court for her AVO because she lives in WA. We can't give you one in Queensland.
So that's what the first court case is?
Yeah.
Says stop, mum. Mum, if
To
you're
stop
listening
her.
to this, please just stop.
Yeah.
Please just stop. Unless you've got something constructive and you want to make amends, please just stop.
The thing is, though, I won't ever make amends for what she said to me, saying she said that I should be dead like my dad when my dad died on his funeral. And I won't ever forgive her no matter what. And I won't forgive her for everything I went through as a kid. Yes, she may have not done that herself, but she put me in that situation. And as me as a mother with my daughter,
She's
I'm
not
not going
going
to put
in.
myself in my daughter in that situation.
She's not going in that situation with
Yeah.
you. Mm-mm.
And she won't ever admit to it either. She won't ever take her
Accountability?
accountability for what she did to me and put me in. So I won't ever forgive her. And after I posted that video about my mother, it went the way I knew it was gonna go. I did get a lot of support for it, and it has healed me a lot with my mother's situation. She did comment. She did say on Facebook that she's gonna tell the truth, everything. If she's gonna tell the truth, tell the truth.
What truth could she have? She didn't
And she
have
hasn't
you
seen
from 3
me.
years
Yeah,
old.
she hasn't seen me. How she said she's going to expose me. Expose me for what?
I'm literally just surviving. Like, I'm a mum. All mums your age. I was 21 when I had my daughter. Like, we're just surviving.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. And I can't ever forgive her. Even if she took accountability, I'd say thanks, but it would never be that relationship because
Yeah.
of what she's done and what she said.
And also, so it'd be thanks and please, could we just have no contact until I'm ready?
The other case is to child safety. So everything that happened to me, from the drugs, the living in people's houses, I didn't see a caseworker in that situation until I got back to my aunties.
And you didn't get money, Molly.
I didn't get money.
That's the biggest one. So you
Yeah.
were in trouble with the law for the most. Do you know what the most basic survival thing, apart from oxygen, is? Food.
Yeah.
You didn't have access to food,
Yeah.
clothing,
Yeah.
accommodation, like money to pay.
Yeah.
You were not supported.
Yeah. And the kidnapping, with me
Yeah.
saying no and
Yeah.
screaming no and having to run
away.
away from a caseworker
Yeah.
that got fired
Yeah.
for what she did to me.
Yeah.
And it's just everything.
So how many years went by without a caseworker?
Probably 3 years.
And that was
roughly.
between what, 14 and 17?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, somewhere
Somewhat,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't see them at all. They didn't contact me. They didn't support me.
Yeah.
Just the people around me were helping me.
So right now there's Molly knows, I'm not sure if I told you there was a commission. Did you know that on your own?
No, I didn't. Not until you told me.
Okay, so I spoke with Molly and told her that I thought she should put a submission into the Child Safety Commission, and she has.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy that you've done that, because if you don't speak and people like you, children or adult like you, don't speak, there will be no change.
Yeah.
I have put in 2 submissions. Other children that have come out of care, I know, I've recommended that they put in submissions, because it's for these kids. You know, this is our next generation. This is our next generation.
Yeah.
And like you say, they stick together. Those kids that are doing it tough are going to stick together.
Yeah.
And they're going to get up to naughty stuff, and they're going to break into your houses, and they're going to break, into shops and things like that. But they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
That is crystal clear to me.
Yeah.
So,
and what I find completely wrong in the the child safety system is those caseworkers are assigned to help us, and they can't help us, or they just can't be bothered.
No.
We need food, we need money, we need houses, we need places to sleep at night.
Safety.
Most of the kids out of child safety are homeless. Some kids don't get out of that crime situation. Some kids are in jail, out of jail. I know many kids who are still doing that routine.
And they're stuck in a cycle.
Yeah.
And you are not stuck in a cycle.
Yeah.
You are out of the cycle. You're creating a cycle for your children.
Yeah.
I asked you if you have things that you take care of yourself, and something that's special to you that makes you feel good. I want you to find that. I want you to find that thing.
The only thing that I see that keeps me going at the end of the day, because yes, I wanted to kill myself in those situations of when I was a kid, and I shouldn't have to feel that way. But the one thing that took that away from me of I will never kill myself is my kids.
Yeah.
And that's, I see as the thing that heals me. If I'm away from my kid for a day, I'm sitting there like, I need my kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, oh, I want to break, but then
they're a part
when
of
you're
you.
away,
Or you always want to break, but they're a part of you.
Yeah.
And I always, you love your children so much more when they're sleeping soundly.
Yes. Yes, I'm sitting there, oh my God, to my partner, look
wake
how cute they are.
Wake up.
Then when they're screaming at you, they're like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Molly, what are you doing with yourself now?
So I'm a stay-at-home mum, and I'm thinking about putting the kids into daycare when they're next year, starting of getting a job. I haven't worked for about 2 years, nearly 3.
What was your job?
I used to work at Boost Juice.
Love that.
When I was 17.
Love that.
That was my first job. And then I worked in the Valley with my friend when I moved out of my auntie's.
Yeah.
I helped them out for a bit. And then, I haven't had a job since.
So what do you want to do?
I have no idea. I just miss working. People are like, oh, I wish I could stay home. I'm like, no, I miss the routine. I miss doing something that is worth getting up every day instead of sitting in my bed every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, but you don't get to sit in your bed every day with kids.
No, and you're like me. For a period I stayed home with the kids, and you do go crazy, you go
Yeah.
stir crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then pretty much building my social media up. I've been doing that a lot since
And I see you've got
2023.
so many brands.
Yeah.
How are you
It
getting so many
it floods me.
brands?
So, a lot of them reach out to me. A lot of them I get paid for or gifted, but I reach out to them too. A lot of brands that I want to work with, I reach out to them,
Yeah.
and then the brands that wanna work with me, I've never really turned any down except, like, ones I just do not like. I
No.
just don't approve of. I'm just
Yeah.
no. But most of them, and I just love it because it's like you're supporting other people, but it's like you get free stuff. Like,
Yeah. And your social media is real. You're
I
honest. And
yeah,
then
I've seen a lot of people. I've know a lot of people on social media that are trying to that are doing what I'm doing,
yeah.
but they're totally different on social media than what I know in
Yeah.
person.
Whereas you,
Yeah.
the one thing that stood out to me is, I mean, you're gorgeous. You're absolutely gorgeous. So you are gorgeous on social media, but you don't care what the image looks like of
No.
yourself, and you will just speak
Yeah.
to the people out there. And I love that about you is your honesty
Yeah.
and your depth of character as well. Like it's really evident.
Pretty much is I do want to work one day,
Mm.
but me building the social media, I realized how much I can actually do.
Yeah.
Like, I used to watch people do all this, and I'm like, how do you do that? And
Yeah.
then realized when my first ever brand reached out to me, I was like, oh, I can do this.
I
And
love
then
that.
it's pretty easy too. Like,
I love that. And then so let's just fast forward 5 years. What do you want to see in your life? Where do you want to be?
well, I want to be healed from everything. I want court pretty much over. I want everything done. And I just want to step forward, and I want to hopefully have my own house in 5 years or sooner, and just be not like financially free, but pretty much financially free. Just have everything set for my kids and me,
Yeah.
and not have to stress about, because I used to have to stress about where I used to live. Now,
Of course.
yeah, I don't want to be stressing out where I have to live next or what's going to happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you just need to put savings away,
Yes.
start saving your money
Yes.
and build that future. Get that job as well. Do
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. I eventually too want my own business.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I've told my partner. I want it, but I don't know what I want yet.
it'll come.
Yeah.
It'll dawn on you
Yeah.
and it will come. And can I also say, like, when you say you want everything done and you just want to be healed, that's going to be a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
So don't think of it in 5 years' time, why am I not healed? This is going to be, it is who you are.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that you will, I would probably, if I were you, think about finding a good counselor.
Yeah.
And don't call it that.
Yeah.
Call it a life coach.
Yeah.
Find a life coach,
Yeah.
right? And then that way you can see them maybe weekly or monthly
Yeah.
and they can be your sounding board.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're telling them your past, because you can tell them that over time, right? But it's about you building Molly's future
Yeah.
and becoming the version of you that you will,
Yeah.
right? I can see it in you. I can
Yeah.
see you've got a beautiful future ahead of you. It's not a race to the finish line to be healed.
Yeah.
We want to get the court cases done with. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of them when they're done.
Yeah.
But when it comes to you and who you are, that's a lifelong process.
Pretty much the way of me, the way I see of what I want to do with everything that happened to me, I don't want to regret not talking about it. I want to talk about it. I want other people to know that it's okay. Like, for people that are in that situation, know that it's okay and it does get better no matter what. And yes, the child safety system is
Broken.
broken, but and we can help it, but it's really still broken. And there's so much you could sit there to your caseworker and try and tell you, but you're a kid. And generally, adults don't look on kids.
And generally, in my experience, children in care don't communicate with their CSO, child safety officer.
Because we don't trust them.
Right. So
And
they take everything that's said as, in my experience, as gospel, and they will write that down, and that's it forever. That's it forever. That's in the file.
It's like me crashing out because I needed help, and me doing drugs, me stealing stuff that was wrong to them, and they would write it down. And
now that's you. That's who you are in their
but
paperwork.
that's me trying to tell you, like,
I'm in
trouble.
survival mode, guys. I need food. I am scared. I don't have a support network or a family to live with or a home.
Yeah.
I'm getting in trouble with the law because I'm needing.
Yeah.
But then what they've got written down is this is what she's done, and that's now it.
And that's how everyone sees us. Everyone sees kids from child safety. They're troubled. They need help, everything, which is, yes, they need help.
They absolutely need both of those. They are troubled and they do need help. But what they don't need is what happened to you.
Yeah.
And so many other self-placed children.
We need someone to listen to us and believe us, not sit there and think we're just making this up. We're not making it up. We wouldn't tell you if we're making it up.
And do you know, if you looked at the basic human rights, that's part of it. And then you look at the rights of a child in care, that's also part of it.
Yeah.
So those were failed. They were breached in your case.
They don't want people knowing that the system is broken.
Oh, it's broken.
So that's why they chuck the money. That's why they do everything, because they don't want to admit the fact that the system is broken.
Molly, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I am going to be following you. And can you just reach out to me if you ever need anything at all? And listeners, if you are considering becoming a foster carer, can you please do it? The system is broken. The system is desperate for family-based care. There is so many children, not enough carers. The system is relying heavily on residential care. Residential care is not what the children need. At the end of the day, it's a safe home. It's an understanding personality, and just treat them like you would your own children. They're fun. They're gorgeous. I've never met a child that I didn't love, and these kids love to be loved.
Yeah.
Would you just have loved to be loved?
We crave for the love.
Attention, love, all of it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always tell my kids. I remind them how special they are.
Yeah.
The foster children, like my biological kids already know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But my foster children, I make sure they know.
Yeah.
Molly, thank you.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Once Upon a Real Life with Belle. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, as it helps with the podcast reach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. If you want to learn more about children in care, listen to any of my Belle's Opinion episodes, or the one that I called The Kids Are Not All Right, Kids in Care. Once again, thank you so much for listening.